Okay, that works. Because I did not record the one with Martin earlier, so. I'm going to give it another few moments just to let people get in from lunch or the virtual cafe or wherever they were. I know I myself had to get lunch and coffee and meds and everything else. In fact, I'm going to put myself on mute for 1 second, if I can find the button.
Oh, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Who closed the breakout rooms? Ah, all right, y'all. So all it'll do is kick us out and then we'll all get right back in. I don't know how that happened. Hey, Shanutel, the breakout room's closed on us.
Yeah, I'm wondering what in the world is going on.
I can't see breakout rooms. This is Cynthia Maskey. I can't even see to go to them.
You're okay, Cynthia. Somehow they accidentally were closed. I'm so sorry. But now we can reopen them. So if you're in to get back in here, as always with technology, there has to be some sort of fun glitch that we've come across. The breakout room somehow got closed. I'm reopening them right now.
Thank you so much, Katie.
I thought I had just done such an amazing job that they were done early. Okay.
Oh no, we got more to share.
Well, you always do an amazing job, Brian.
I'm so sorry, Miss Cynthia. Please share which room you'd like to go to.
All right. Now that we've had that fun, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm assuming I did not look. Christine, are you back in? Hearing an affirmative.
Is there anybody else seeing a remaining countdown of less than 4 minutes now in the upper right-hand corner?
Oh, goodness.
Technology's wonderful as long as it works.
Katie.
I'll go check on it. I'll be right back. When the rooms were created, Shanutel, were any of the options changed in them? Because now it's counting down and it shouldn't be.
I still have the same 3, and I don't know why that is the case, and I apologize. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. So yeah, that's so strange. There shouldn't be a countdown. That's really, really strange. But for y'all, what in the world? I'm so, so sorry, y'all. I don't know. why this is acting up because I haven't changed any of my settings from our first session.
Should we all go out and then come back in after you reset it, or what do you think?
I don't even have a timer on here, so I don't know. So I'm going to completely restart these and see if that will make it a little happier. Because I'm guessing those will close after a minute, but there's nothing closing them.
Minute 30, it says they'll close in.
Yeah, but there's nothing in the options that say you have to close them after a certain amount of time.
I know Zoom has a default timer on theirs that's relatively short.
I think I know how to join. Hi. Can I join room number 2?
Give me just a quick second. Zoom decided to just act up.
What'd you say? Okay. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties. Yeah, thanks, Maya. So it actually, that isn't even selected. Jolene, I'll go with I broke it. I don't know how I broke it. My guess is maybe it traded my host to someone else who has different settings. That's the only thing I can think of. So our Zoom is still trying to recover from lunch. You just get a quick breather to check in with everyone, and you have the deepest apologies from our CETL team.
Are we able to get into a breakout room from this main room? I don't seem to have the icon there in my toolbar.
Give me a quick
was just-
second.
How odd.
It is so odd. I have absolutely
We're
no-
having some technical difficulties with the breakout rooms, so just hold up in the main room for
Okay.
just a moment.
That should work. All I can think of is someone else's host privileges might have done something, but you should now be able to choose your room. I'm going to hang out here in the main session just to make sure, and I deeply apologize to everybody.
I wonder if you starting recording in my room screwed something up, Katie, so maybe I should start recording.
I'll go with anything at this point. You record.
We'll just do that. We'll say that. How's that?
That sounds good.
No, I think what happened is that I had actually closed the breakout rooms, and then Katie also closed the breakout rooms, and I think that just double triggered a like buy leave. So we should be good now. None of the breakout rooms have timers anymore. So everyone is welcome to join their preferred breakout room, their preferred sessions, and we can help those who need the help.
Okay, this is Carol Spalding. My choice for the AI companion is summary, ask meeting questions, and turn on all. How do I get in?
Oh, so you're not going to go to the AI companion. There should either be a small window that says breakout rooms below it. If there is
If we go
not,
in, maybe I can get it on my computer.
there is a circle with 3 dots that says more, and you should see the breakout room on that.
Got it.
My name is Margot, and I had to ask for help to get put in the AI assessment breakout room. Can I ask for help again?
Yes, we've got you, Margot.
Sorry.
No problem, Margot. Thank you. Does anyone else need any assistance? Please unmute yourself or raise your digital hand, and we will assist in getting you to the breakout room of your choice. Please note, we have these offerings this afternoon: AI and assessment, infusing classroom activities with AI, and the trifecta of course designed to include OER, AI, and simplicity. Thank you so very much. Also note that these sessions are being recorded, and those of you that are here at Pikes Peak State College, those recordings will reside on the CETL SharePoint site. Does anyone else need assistance in getting to your room? Oh, wonderful. Looks like you're popping in and out based on your choice.
All right, Chantel, I'm gonna go ahead and join the Infusing Classroom Activities one to make sure that one's being recorded, okay?
All right, so you'll check all three. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone currently in the lobby need any assistance to get to the breakout room of their choice? We have number 1 as being AI and assessment. And if you can't unmute yourself, please, let's go 1, 2, or 3. Number 2 being infusing classroom activities with AI. And number 3, the trifecta of course design. All right. Perhaps those that are currently in the waiting room are just getting a bit of something to eat. Feel free to do that. Know that I'm here to assist.
At Pikes Peak State College. I am also on the AI Infinity group with the ITC with Cynthia, and I am a part-time instructor as well. So I use AI in a variety of ways in my learning design, working with open educational resources and incorporating it into my classes. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started here. So the learning goals that we are going to hopefully that you'll get from this session here are really we're going to be looking at the essential characteristics of open resource design. We have an acronym for FACRAs, findable, clear, relevant, accessible, and simple. And we're going to be breaking each of those down to discuss strategies that will enhance the resources and tools that you can use to help build any type of course design, OER materials, anything that you want to work with there. We'll also discuss ways that you can create learning experiences through AI, supported design, and different tools and that are used not only for course design, but OER enhancement, and hopefully some concrete things that you can do to take away in your own courses. So why do we want to look at AI and OER? Because it equals enhanced learning opportunities. And this is the FRACIS framework. So when we look at the FRACIS framework, we're looking at for findable, easy discovery and organization. We want to make sure that the information is straightforward or that we're providing straightforward communication. We want it to be meaningful and have content alignment for relevancy, accessible. So we're looking at digital accessibility and incorporating universal design principles and keeping it simple by creating a streamlined user experience for students. And if you could say thank you. So some of the challenges that we have with findability here are that there are multiple login barriers, primarily because things are housed, resources are scattered. So there's glossaries, article databases, video repositories. Sometimes there are multiple logins for those, but then there can also be multiple logins for accessing materials even within your own organization. I know for us at Pikes Peak State College, we use SharePoint, and especially when I'm off campus, I have to go through the double authentication to log in, and then anytime I'm accessing SharePoint. So those are some of the challenges, and then all of that can actually lead to a negative impact on the student experience. What makes OER findable and how are we going to be able to organize it? So we want to look at effective metadating and tagging, clear organizational systems, We want to make sure the content is searchable and easy to find, and which includes easy navigation paths. And then we'll look at AI-powered solutions there. So single sign-on integration tools, smart content organization systems, such as a smart glossary creation and linking, data-based content aggregation and video content organization, using intelligent tagging systems, automated metadata generation, and standardized navigation templates. Those are all things that AI can help us do to increase the experience. And then implementing them, we can use centralized resource hubs such as an OER repository, embedded tool integration, or AI-powered search and discovery tools. And we'll take a look at each of those in a little more depth as we go through the presentation. Some of the challenges that we face when we are working with clarity. So in order to have a clear course design, you must find and address clarity challenges. And these are often due to our comfort with course materials. Some of the things that come up are jargon or terminology that is above the knowledge level of the course. So if we're looking at course design for an introductory course, we're probably not going to want to include jargon or terminology that is master's or PhD level. That just is going to go over our students' heads. If it's overly technical, and sometimes things that are discipline specific can also be challenging to understand until students have built knowledge of the materials that are the lessons that are being taught to them. Another example for clarity is alternative text on complex images. So if you have a highly detailed image in, let's say, a STEM course, something that's related to chemistry or biology, anatomy and physiology, those are all going to lead to a lot of times complex images, and that can be challenging for students as they're navigating the information, simply because if it's not provided in a way that's easy for them to digest the information, it's going to be hard for them to grasp it. Also, something that would be highly technical information can be challenging for learners. We want to make sure that we're breaking down information in chunks that is going to be easier for them to digest and understand and grasp that knowledge. And a lot of this stems for lack of prior knowledge. So students, again, in an introductory course, if they don't have prior knowledge, we need to make sure that we're designing courses that provide information. And then AI can actually take a lot of these. They can take information and summarize it and break it down into language that's appropriate for the student. And we can see on this next slide how that might be accomplished. So we can use AI tools for clarity, language simplification tools. So something like Notebook LM or Chat GPT, those can actually take information and break it down for students so that it'll be in language that's going to be easier for them to identify with. There's also readability and scoring system software such as Hemingway we touched on briefly, or Grammarly, that can help students be able to understand materials. Content translation assistance, so we could use AI to take expert to novice language conversation. So again, breaking it down so that it's in understandable terms for students. There's automated explanation generators and definition embedding tools so that they can take this new, for example, terminology and have a better understanding so that they can see right there what their new word is. Okay. And suggested implementation strategies for this. So Claude and OpenAI do a good job with resource descriptions. Perplexity is a good resource for automated readability checks, and OpenAI through ChatGPT can do smart glossary integration for you. And then we want the information to be relevant. And when we're looking at relevancy, we want to make sure that the resources directly address current needs and can be immediately applied. We also want to make sure that the tools that we're using provide alignment. So a lot of the language models, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Perplexity, all of those do a good job of making sure that your content that you're providing or developing for your courses aligns with your learning outcomes. It can also help you create task-specific content, so it can be tailored to specific tasks, projects, or learning objectives. And again, we're looking at the alignment there to make sure that everything that you're doing for the course aligns with the learning outcomes, which is the ultimate goal of the course. It can also provide just-in-time learning, so resources readily available when needed, facilitating on-demand learning. Notebook LM is a good example of this because students can take content, put it into Notebook LM, and have it summarize information for them, which can help lead to individualized learning for students and reinforce the material and provide more in-depth knowledge for them. And then practice-ready resources, so content that can directly support practical application and skill development. Okay, the next slide, please. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so there are a variety of tools that can be used for ensuring relevance of resources. A few examples are learning objective mappers, task relevance analyzers, and application opportunity identifiers. Practical implementation checkers provide use case generators, real-world application suggesters, and activity content alignment tools. And in order to make content actionable, AI can generate practice scenarios, provide real-world application examples, or implementation guides that can assist students. And then, pardon me, we want to look at accessibility and ensure that the materials that are being used or presented or even created with AI are accessible. So the most common accessibility challenges in course design regularly faces whether resources can be viewed on mobile devices. There are landing pages designed for organization and resources hyperlinked and are the resources designed so that no additional logins are required. Again, we want to prevent the barrier of multiple login screens, which can be frustrating for students. We want to make sure that the materials are able to be viewed on multiple devices. I know that our college, and I would think this would be true for many colleges these days, students aren't necessarily just using their laptops, they're using their mobile devices, such as their phones, or they're using tablets. And we need to ensure that the design and that the materials that we're providing can adapt to those mobile devices. So some of the things that we want to look at here are responsive layouts, touch-friendly interfaces, especially when we're dealing with accessibility. We need to make sure that there's multiple ways for students to be able to access the information. We want cross-device compatibility. When we're looking at organizational clarity, we want landing page optimization, clear navigation paths, resource mapping. And then for seamless access, we want to look at single sign-on solutions, direct hyperlinks, and embedding resources instead of linking out, which can cause then additional logins or potentially device incompatibility if we're logging out and you have the one small screen that you're looking out or looking at. So some of the ways that AI tools can enhance accessibility are, again, mobile compatibility checkers, responsive design assistance, and user experience analyzers. And those can analyze what your student is going to experience. In the last presentation, Martin was talking about when he was a web designer, how he never would review his work based on what he was looking for, because he knew it's really how the user is going to be interacting with your work. And so that's what we want to keep in mind when we're working with students. We want to try to have another source that can look at how how students are going to be interacting with that information. And then we have smart organization assistance, so landing page generators, navigation page optimizers, and resource relationship mappers. And finally, streamlining tools such as link validators, authentication integrators, and resource embedders. And if you could do the next slide, please. And the simplicity challenge that we have we're often faced with is that information overload can cause issues. So when we're designing courses, and AI is extremely helpful. I know for me personally, AI is extremely helpful in this specific instance to avoid too much text on the screen. We have to be cognizant of cognitive load. We want to prevent cluttered instructions. We don't want to have buried key points. And we want to make sure that the impact that the information that we're providing is on learning. So visual representation is important, but ultimately what we're providing to our students is going to be the most beneficial. That's what we need to keep our eye on, is what information are we providing to our students. Cognitive overload leads to difficulty processing information and can overwhelm learners. It can reduce student engagement, and it can often increase frustration, which can affect task completion. If students get frustrated, then they're less likely to be completing their work. AI tools for simplification that can be used, ChatGPT, key point extractors. So for actually text condensers. So ChatGPT can do this, Grammarly can do this, Gemini can do this, Perplexity, almost any tool can condense text for you. There are key point extractors. So again, ChatGPT can do that, and almost the same ones. They can highlight what's going to be relevant to the information that we need to provide to help you decrease the cognitive load for students. And then there are visual hierarchy generators, such as DALL-E 3 is a good one. And again, OpenAI can do that. Yeah. Those are good. I wouldn't say I would use something like Firefly that is an image generator, but it's not going to necessarily have the same focus. Instruction clarity tools, so step-by-step formatters. Again, ChatGPT is good for that. Almost any LM is. Direct simplifiers and visual instruction coordinators. Again, DALL-E is going to be a good one for that. And then implementation strategies for implementing and when you're designing and simplifying content for users is it's important to chunk content together. You want to make sure that it's visually organized, but that there's also a clear call to action. And Cynthia is going to take the next steps and provide examples on how software can do all of this for us.
Okay. And Christine's already talked about a number of tools, so I'm just going to provide a few more. We're going to talk about 5 tools briefly. Pikes Peak has been very generous, and we're doing a lot of pilots, so we have experience with a number of these tools. There's one that Boodlebox suggested to me that we don't have experience with. So I'm just being very honest here. You know, we're piloting Boodlebox. Boodlebox is kind of an all-in-one stop shop. If you heard Katie earlier, they are actually kind of a platform that brings in-house a number of bots and a number of the various AI platforms. And you can use it. You have various chats going at the same time, and it helps you select the one that is of best use for you. And we won a number of free seats for 6-month trials. And so that's what we're kind of piloting it for. And we're hoping, because we've all really, really liked the experience, that we can convince our administration to invest money in this. But we're also a Microsoft 365 school, and as a result, we also have exposure to Copilot. So we do have a lot of exposure to several of these. So for content organization and discovery, Boodlebox suggested that Microsoft Copilot or Claude AI were going to be some of the best AI tools for course design. For content clarity and simplification, it suggested Hemingway Editor and Grammarly. Hemingway Editor is one of the ones that we do not have experience with, so I am only going to talk about that one briefly. For relevance and application, it suggested ChatGPT. So for AI tools for content clarity and simplification, and I should pause here and go back and say, if any of you have experience with Hemingway Editor, I would love to hear it. So on to content organization. So for Microsoft Copilot and Claude AI, both Microsoft Copilot and Claude AI are good for organizing course content, but they have distinct strengths. Copilot, content organization, it has auto-categorization of resources. It is smart folder structure suggestions. It is metadata generation for easy search options. It has great integration benefits, especially if you are a Microsoft 365 ecosystem, such as we are. If you are a Microsoft 365 institution, then you have seamless document management, you have cross-platform accessibility. We use Teams for a lot of things. We have SharePoint for a lot of things. Copilot works with all of this. And so we have a really good integration, meaning that it gives us a lot of benefits. Claude AI advantages for advanced content structuring. It gives you intelligent content hierarchies, context-aware organization, natural language processing. For resource enhancement, Claude AI will give you smart summaries, automated tagging, and content relationship mapping, which I must admit is something that I need desperately. I am one of those people that always files something in a folder on my desktop that makes sense at the time I put it there. It has a great label. I make it make sense. I know what it is. And then when I go to find it, it can be as, soon as 2 hours later, and I don't know what I called it. And when I want that file at 3 o'clock in the morning when I can't sleep and I can't find it, it's very frustrating. So having that kind of content relationship mapping is something that would be a great advantage of Claude AI for organization. For content clarity and simplification, Hemingway Editor apparently has readability analysis and sentence simplification and clarity improvements. Did somebody come off mute? Okay. Thought maybe somebody had experience with Hemingway and wanted to interject. Grammarly similarly has clear language suggestions and tone adjustments, audience appropriate phrasing. It has educational features such as readability scores. You can get that in a number of different AI tools, but it also has engagement metrics and clarity suggestions. I know Grammarly has grown in popularity lately. The one thing I would caution about Grammarly is that Grammarly supposedly has this really, really wonderful AI detection software that they keep marketing for, particularly for writing classes. And no AI detection software is good. Or no writing. Yeah, no AI detection software really has as good a rating as what they claim they do. It just doesn't. It's not reliable, not even Grammarly's. And I I always have this distrust of any software that keeps insisting that theirs is the best out there without acknowledging the flaws. So that's my one hesitation with really going all in with emphasizing Grammarly. Just as my own personal caution, if you will. For course design, AI tools for relevance and application, ChatGPT really is one of the best still. It helps us create things like real world examples, application scenarios, practice activities. For course enhancement, we can use it to see student engagement, for assessment ideas, for a lot of interactive elements. It's just really one of the most creative tools we've seen. And so let's talk about some of these content enhancement examples. So for example, before we started using AI for course design, assignment instructions were often ambiguous because the instructor and the course designer would come in with all this knowledge and we'd think it made perfect sense. I mean, Christine mentioned it earlier. Martin, as a web designer, would look at it and would say, oh, yeah, I understand this perfectly. It makes perfect sense. But the assignment instructions that would be built in a course were often ambiguous and confusing. Well, after being run through AI, usually language is much clearer, concise, and simplified if AI is given the right prompt. And so this is kind of an extreme example, but we just wanted to give you an example. And so this is one using Copilot and Grammarly. Before AI, this is the original instruction. Students will analyze and synthesize multiple sources to create a comprehensive report demonstrating understanding of key concepts. That's it. One sentence instructions. Now, if I was a student coming in for that instruction, I would have no clue what I was supposed to be doing. But if the AI, Copilot and Grammarly, are given the proper instructions by the designer, the instructor and designer, they can take that and come out with this. After AI, here's the prompt. Create a 2-page report that compares 3 course readings, highlighting the main themes and connecting the ideas to real-world examples. Makes a lot more sense now. Now that's still kind of vague because we didn't want to tie it to any specific topic or any specific discipline, but we've got a lot more specific assignment examples, specific assessment examples of what AI can do for you in the handout that is on the Eventi app. It's also, we'll share it in the chat. It is on a Google Doc that you can download. And if we haven't mentioned it before, these are all workshops in a box. So please feel free to go into the Eventi app, download the PowerPoint, take it with you, represent it, rework it, take what you want from it with you back to your institution. That's exactly what this is meant to be. So other things you can do with AI. Using AI as a tool, you can create interactive elements. So using ChatGPT or Claude, you can create knowledge checks. You can use it to auto-generate multiple choice questions. You can create scenario-based problems. You can develop self-reflection prompts. You can generate immediate feedback responses. You can use Microsoft Copilot to create case studies. You create those case studies by breaking down complex scenarios. You can create decision points. You can generate branching outcomes. You can develop reflection questions. So in other words, you can do what, those kind of what if, kind of choices. You can also personalize feedback and create AI-powered analysis and tailored suggestions. And you can use various AI tools to create collaborative activities such as group problem-solving exercises, peer review guidelines, team role descriptions, and project milestones. Which means that you can do this for much more than just classwork. You can do this for workshops such as this. You can do this for things such as professional development. I guess that's a workshop such as this. You can do this for things such as reports. And, you can do this for, gosh, I just used AI tools to help me write job descriptions for new position requests I'm asking for. So AI tools can be used for a whole plethora of things. And before I move on, I do have to say, because I forgot I didn't say it to this group, that this slide is a perfect example of what you can use AI tools for. Katie, in our very first session in the keynote this morning, talked about using AI tools for drawing the Arnies, or drawing the aardvarks, which is our school mascot. This is an example of using AI to draw an aardvark. This is our Arnie the aardvark, one of our AI tools. Arnie is our school mascot, as a side note, simply because aardvarks were the first animal in the dictionary. And so when somebody was deciding on what the mascot was for our college in Colorado, they just happened to land on an aardvark. They're not native to this area, but that's never changed. And so this is our ode to Arnie. And yes, this was drawn using AI. Okay. And so finally, accessibility focus with AI. We leverage AI to understand our students' learning needs, and you can optimize their educational experience. You can do this on a small or a large scale. You can start by creating a targeted student needs survey focusing on key areas. And after collecting survey responses, you can use AI tools to analyze and visualize the data, revealing actionable insights. And using this structured approach, you can efficiently gather, analyze, and act upon student feedback to redesign your courses or redesign your program or redesign an assignment. Do it on a small or a large scale. And so as you can see, the fracas framework interconnects elements for success, and each element enhances the student experience and improves student learning outcomes. And it increases student engagement and leads to better utilization of open education resources. And so hopefully that led us to our key takeaways, which are the benefits of using AI in course design is that we see increased accessibility and impact. Collaboration allows us to work together to leverage AI to benefit everyone. And we see innovation and the exploration of new possibilities with AI, or the perfect trifecta of course design. As I mentioned before, there's additional examples of AI assessments and course design suggestions on our handout. And all of these slides and notes are available for your use. And I would be remiss if I did not tell you that even though our next slide is questions and answers, there is a reference slide at the end. And that reference slide does tell you that we used Gamma, which is an open AI platform, to create all of our slides. And that we use Boodlebox, as I already mentioned, which is also an AI platform to help with our design of our outline and make sure that we were organized and that we didn't forget anything, and help us with some of that aspect. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen just so that I can see some of the chat. Are there any questions? And feel free to unmute if you don't want to type it. We do have a few more minutes. I see there's been several questions about OER in particular. And Christine did share the Google Doc for the handout. That's that Trifecta course design handout. Any other questions? You're a quiet group.
I have a quick question. My name's Alicia. You mentioned, so I'm the program director at DMCC. I work with Fred Locken.
Okay.
And so you mentioned that you can use some of these tools for data visualization. And I'm wondering if you have recommended tools for that, or that you've used in the past that have been effective at creating the visualizations that you've used.
Sure. Let's see. Just want to check my notes and see. I don't remember if we have any specifically that we recommend for data visualization.
And then have you encountered any issues with data privacy related to putting those into an AI and getting those visualizations? How do you protect that data?
We're always very careful about that, and that's always the problem. Whenever you're using one of the AI tools, I'm always hesitant
Mm-hmm.
if we don't, if we're not 100% sure of the
privacy.
of the privacy, we don't use it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so that's why I wanted to look and see if I actually had suggested one in our notes. And I don't think we did.
Okay.
Because we haven't found one that we are 100% sure of the privacy on.
Okay.
But that is a good point, though, is because of the privacy. And I see Kevin shared the copyright and artificial intelligence document that just came out from the United States Copyright Office. I had actually seen that it had just been released. I have not had a chance to go through it all the way. But it is one of the things that has been a good talk on on LinkedIn, especially. I follow a lot of people on LinkedIn on the topic of AI, and it's been a big talk on those platforms. And so both positive and negative, because there's a lot of concerns around copyright and AI and how what is copyrightable and what is not when you use AI.
And Elisa, I'm just actually throwing there's two sites I just put into the chat that can do data visualization for you, that difficulty with that word. You want to check out the privacy for them, but they do offer free tiers that may work for you. And if you are going to be doing some basic things, ChatGPT can work pretty well for that.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I suppose you could throw in like fake data to just get some pictures in your head that then you could generate yourself from your data. So thank you for those resources.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's my hesitation. I mean, I know a lot of people really love Notebook LM. I haven't used it a ton. Because what I would use it for would be things that would end up requiring a lot of privacy items. And I'm hesitant to put too much in there without being able to remove all the things that would have privacy attached to it. So I have to be very careful because I don't use it for normal things. I mean, I'd use it for a lot of back end things, job descriptions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I do the same. So those same concerns.
HR related things are not things I want to be throwing into open AI. Go ahead, Kevin.
Thanks. Yeah, I threw it in the chat, but I was gonna say I agree with you. Sensitivity, because I think it might still be experimental or beta on the Notebook LM piece. But if you're learning something new, put yourself into the student perspective. And I threw in using, because you said you hadn't reviewed the copyright. Time is of the essence, right? So throw that in there and see what that does for you. And then what I like about it is those audio overviews. You can generate this podcast. Just gives you a different overview of getting the gist of something. It doesn't go into the detail or you can't analyze content necessarily. But it's a really great tool, I think, for students to kind of have as a resource loaded with content or OERs or the data they have for their courses. And then from there, they can really kind of create whatever different resources that they find beneficial and also from their own perspectives. So in language that benefits them. So a lot of the pieces that you talked about earlier, Notebook LM is also just another great tool. All of the other tools are awesome as well, but just another one I would always kind of plug. So great presentation. I just really appreciate it.
No, you're very welcome. And that's a great idea. I hadn't even thought about throwing the document into Notebook LM. Any other questions? All right. Well, you guys are welcome to go back to the main room whenever you'd like. I am going to stick it out here, I think. I don't think this is going to close on us, Hannah. Katie, it's not going to close on us, is it? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah. Eloise likes to disconnect the wire because she chews on it. To like wiggle it back in on my lav mic. So yeah, we will start closing them right at 1 o'clock. So we get them.
Oh, so you close them and then reopen them?
And actually, I don't even think we have to close them. We'll just leave them open so you can sit here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care. I just was curious.
Yeah, I'll be right back then. Or actually, I won't be right back. I'm going to go to the next one. I'm an attendee.
OER, AI, and simplicity.
So Shanyatella and Christina, I just wanted to let you know we're going to just leave the rooms open.
Yes. Okay.
Yep, perfect. Since we just kind of have a quick turnover here. And in a moment, I'll broadcast a text message to them.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Well, since you're here, were you able to get yourself something to drink, perhaps?
I got to be a human being. I got to attend a session, and now I get to attend the third session. So I'm really excited for this.
I'm so glad they're all going to be recorded. Yeah.
Me too. So I'm going to sneak into AI and assessment.
Please do.
After I send this, though.
It's just so wonderful that everyone has taken the early part of the sweetest day of the year to join us for this beautiful training. And I'm pretty proud of Pikes Peak State College being a host of that. Thank you, team. I love it. I love it when we all show up. You got it. Aardvarks are us. Definitely. Wonderful.
And Kurt, it's so good to see you. How are you doing?
Hanging in there. Poor everybody had to deal with me like, I'm driving and kids are in the back. I'm going to be muted.
Definitely, that's so good to see you too. So I'm so excited to see so many of our colleagues in here. This is great. And I'm so glad to see all of these other AI enthusiastic individuals who are here to learn. We are just wrapping up this current session, and then we're going